Let's take a moment to talk about how in stories, whenever someone acquires some new amazing power, they always have to either save the world or defeat some other generic nonsense. But why is that? How come they don't just continue with their usual lives and just use their powers to have silly fun or just to mess with people? I have been desperate for this twist to the genre to exist for what feels like ages, and Ino Battle appears to be the embodiment of this desire. Ino Battle is about 5 students whose powers awakened half a year ago, but their daily lives don't change because there's no evil to battle. So the only choice they have is to fight the trials of everyday life. Besides that twist that I've been yearning for, Ino Battle doesn't appear to be particularly special, but it looks energetic, entertaining, and absolutely outrageous. I am going to undoubtedly love everything about Ino Battle despite all of its faults, and it's also being animated by Trigger. You know, that one studio that was supposedly saving anime with Kill la Kill. You know, I wonder, are they still saving anime? Yup, definitely still saving anime, and I am sure no one would possibly disagree with me. Keep up the fantastic work, Trigger. And if it isn't obvious already, I'm excited for all the wrong reasons, and I absolutely love it. It's no secret that I'm a fan of slice of life and moe anime, but when it's a show about cute anime girls animating cute anime girls doing cute anime girl things, can you really blame me? And also, it's being produced by PA Works, and it always catches my interest when PA Works strays from their tired romance drama formula to test the water with a new unique project, especially since it's being directed by Tsutomu Mizushima, the guy who also directed Witchcraft Works, Jashiriko, Girls in Panza, Genshiken, Squid Girl, and so many more. Basically, he is very experienced when it comes to the genre of comedy, so I have very little reason to be skeptical he won't deliver the same lovable creativity he demonstrates with every single one of his new works. It looks to be one of those slice-of-life comedies that's humor hits me almost every time with deadly precision. It even has the distinctive dynamic environment of an animation studio, allowing for a focus on the character interactions that produce the comedy consistently without feeling too forced. Shirobako's evident lighthearted attitude injects optimism directly into my veins, and I am positive it'll be the fun and lovable show I expect. Amagi Brilliant Park, the show that represents the knife that Kyoto Animation plunged into our backs. They're working on this instead of our shirtless men swimming anime, and we deserve to be outraged at this heinous insult. But seriously, I'm looking forward to this mainly because the light novel it's adapting was written by the guy who wrote Fullmetal Panic. It looks to be something of a perfect storm for me, with just the right combination of characters, humor, action, and themes to make it an easily enjoyable, comfortable watch each and every time. It also has an extremely unique setting of being placed in an amusement park, which will surely be brought to life by Kyoto Animation's unbelievably high standards of their art and animation, but there is an issue many seem to have with Amagi. A lot of people seem to say that it just appears to be another generic rom-com. Now, while I really can't argue with that statement, I personally think that when a show such as Amagi embraces its inherent shallowness of being generic, that is a sign of its own maturity. Rather than trying to prop itself up as a high art or claiming itself to have some sort of special insight, it instead tries to play to its audience, to be entertaining for the sake of being entertaining. It understands its audience, and I wholeheartedly respect that. Amagi Brilliant Park is obviously going to be a joyful, charming show, and I cannot wait to see Amagi's formula emphasized by Kyoto Animation's gorgeous visuals. Log Horizon is a wonderland of potential, and has the possibility of expansive ambition, but the show stays within its limits and doesn't ever stray from what you expect. This safe zone is still immensely entertaining and incredibly creative, but I just want a little bit more than what it's brought to the table so far. Hopefully the second season will execute on its potential more than the first, and I have faith Log Horizon will surely deliver with its usual charming flair, but we'll just have to wait and see. It has incredible depth and insight into its setting. It actually knows the mechanics and simply the ways that MMOs actually work, and it makes use of every single reference in the book, making it a delicious treat for those who understand the refined detail that Log Horizon has exclusively for gamers. It also brings to life that sense of adventure that every gamer is searching for when they play games. We play games to escape, not to be trapped, which is kind of ironic because of the concept of Log Horizon of, being trapped in a game, but that's besides the point. And Log Horizon knows this fact and uses it gracefully to its benefit. Log Horizon understands immersion. People play MMOs and RPGs to be immersed, to live a different life, and Log Horizon plays on those desires by having their characters relive those memories that gamers have of losing themselves in fantastical and brave settings, conquering unfamiliar new worlds, or just experiencing them, new narratives of which to consciously carve out as one's own. It even correctly portrays the sense of community that is built up in MMOs and all of the politics that come with it. Log Horizon is a show for gamers through and through, and that's what makes it so abnormally exceptional. Music is an absolutely beautiful and powerful thing. It has the ability to alter people's emotions and their actions, to completely change how we perceive a certain scene. Music communicates not only to the mind, but also to the heart. It's something no one should live without, but what happens when you no longer have music? The answer to that question is where Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso comes into play. It revolves around the piano prodigy Arima Kosei, whose mother passes away, which causes him to have a mental breakdown that leaves him with the inability to hear the sounds of his piano, despite his hearing being perfectly fine. This drastically changes his world into a colorless and bland place. His outlook on the world has been completely converted, and he's become dull, lifeless, and boring. With the loss of his hearing came the loss of the paintbrush necessary to bring color back to his world, to bring fun back, until one day a violinist called Kaori brought vibrant color back to his black and white world by returning him to the wonderful world of music, returning the paintbrush that slowly fills in the lines. Your Lie in April is easily going to be one of my personal favorites, since it's centered around the whimsical world of music and the power that comes with every note, but it also seems like it'll be heavily character focused, which is something that I'm always searching for because those types of character-driven narratives tend to be what I absolutely adore. I'm certain it'll actively engage its themes of music intelligently and make this show what I can only describe as an experience with actual weight in its intense message that exploits the use of its music to actually convey said message. Your Lie in April? I am so glad I don't have to wait until April to fully experience you. Oh, that was so cheesy. That hurt to say. It's finally happening. After being announced and playing with my fragile feelings for years, we finally have a solid date for the anime adaptation for Grisaya, which, by the way, is a visual novel. So yeah, visual novel adaptations always work out amazingly, right? Oh, how I wish they did so I didn't have to endure this pain over and over again. Grisaya is easily a 50+ hour visual novel, and putting it into just the 4 or so hours of 12 episodes will be its death sentence. Grisaya is about an academy that takes in students who are abnormal, to say the least. The students all have varying rough pasts that have caused them to stumble from the right path of life. They're stuck, unable to move forward with their lives until one day the new mysterious student Kazami Yuji comes, and may just be the necessary push to give the girls the will to take control of their lives once more. I'm extremely worried that it's just going to drop the audience into the middle of the story without any setup, and not allowing the story to be settled in through the characters' interactions, which would be completely destroying exactly what the visual novel did so blatantly right. I'm frightened the lack of character interaction will cause the characters I know and love to become lifeless and lacking the eccentric personalities that were the main drive of the visual novel. Or even worse, they could combine all of the routes and completely ruin it. So many disastrous possibilities! So many. I just absolutely adore when things I love they get destroyed. Why do these? They shouldn't do these adaptations. They just do them and they just. Glen, calm down. I love it. Put the Dakimakura down. Things don't have to go down this way, man. Shut up. Shut up. You're not my waifu. You can't tell me what to do. I know none of you are going to listen to this, but please listen to me. Please. Please, 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 do not watch this if you have not played the visual novel. You will just be spoiling yourself of the best moments, which is why I've been as vague as possible this whole segment, and overall there are only 2 possibilities for Grisaya. It'll either be spectacular or just an awful, disappointing adaptation. Most likely the latter, but I can be hopeful, and no matter what, I am going to absolutely love finally seeing it animated. So, I'm just going to be honest and tell you guys that I don't have an extremely solid explanation as to why I'm so enthusiastic for Zora no Method. Well, kind of. I was instantly interested in it when it was first announced, then something occurred that utterly gripped me. I was a rabbit caught in their trap. I knew there was no escape for me. The something that occurred was the announcement that a completely new studio would be the producers of it. I always become fully intrigued with the project to the point that you could call it an obsession when a new studio is creating it because I want to be excited for it. I want to see what they have the ability to accomplish on just their first project and what they could possibly do in the future. And their name is Studio 38Z, or Studio 3Hertz, and they've decided on a completely new original anime for their first production. It's about 4 young girls who make a wish that affects the landscape of their town, and there is forever a disc above the town. Really, there's not much to go on since it's an original story, but its scripts are being done by Naoki Hisaya, who also is the original creator of the quite popular keyword Canon, and it appears to be quite a similar story to Canon. A story that has a light-hearted appearance but manifests into a hammer that knocks you out with a sudden blow of ferocious yet subtle scenes of passion that leave your emotions in utter disarray. I adore these types of stories that reach out to the viewer in an attempt to affect their emotions, and I am sure Zora no Method will succeed. Wait, don't just fade out just yet. I have one more thing to say. From all the information we've been given so far, it seems it's almost an all-girl cast. And it's also being directed by Masayuki Sakoi, who has also directed Strawberry Panic in the OVA adaptation of Sona Hanabira. So maybe Zora no Method is Yuri! Yeah, that's my reasoning. I don't have a problem. I don't need an intervention. I'm fine. It's not an obsession. It's fine. This sequel to Psycho Pass won't be being written by its original author, who is Gen Urobuchi, so changing the author of a story can lose a lot of the original intent that the previous author left to work with, but at the same time, a new writer can even improve on the previous work that was left for them, so it's hard to say whether or not this is actually a bad thing. Urobuchi built the basic structure, and hopefully this new writer can delicately yet precisely apply the finishing touches, but that's not something I can say for certain. But at least this unfinished structure that Urobuchi left is an interesting one at least. Psycho Pass is set in a cyberpunk futuristic world where someone's state of mind can be instantly measured, meaning that you can be arrested just for potential crimes. And this story revolves around the enforcement division and them capturing said potential criminals. And when it comes to my thoughts on the first season, the show itself may have lost a fight or two, but at least it was willing to fight my expectations. Maybe the introduction of a new writer can make Psycho Pass stronger and give it more of a shot in its rematch against my expectations of the show. In fact, I want it to keep coming back until it wins our unending battle because I'm extremely interested in what Psycho Pass has the potential to be. Hopefully this second season can execute that potential skillfully and completely shock me with that deadly left hook and win that fight against my expectations. Sometimes I grow so wary of these walls of safety that most shows tend to hide behind, and they never bother going the extra mile to be something different. But Parasite appears to be the one that's going to utterly demolish these walls with its bountiful ambition. Parasite is easily one of the shows with the most immediate potential. The source material for this is already excellent and can only possibly be enhanced by an anime adaptation, maybe even surpassing the already amazing thriller that is the manga that makes great use of its story's premise, which that premise is about an ordinary high school boy named Shin who found out about the concealed threat of alien parasites that take complete control of a human's body. And Shin himself has been invaded by one of these parasites. And as he fights off the invaders internally and externally, he must find a way to warn humanity about these parasites. Parasite's manga is one of the few genuine horror stories that doesn't rely on cheap jump scares and constructs an ominous atmosphere that is built up by its own confidence. Also, Based Madhouse is behind the production, and I have faith they'll make yet another tremendous production. Yes! Based Ufotable, finally Heaven's Feel, finally getting animated. My favorite route from the visual novel, finally getting animated. Woo! You do realize that Unlimited Blade Works is the TV show, right? And Heaven's Feel is being turned into a movie? What they wouldn't do that, would they? Why? Oh no, why? You alright, man? Yeah, I'm just gonna have a sadness montage or something, okay? Now, let me talk about my wonderful experience with the Fate Stay Night visual novel, and how what I love will more than likely be lost in its transcendence into animated form, but whatever, let's talk about Fate. I like to think of Fate Stay Night as an expert chef, who knows the perfect amount of intriguing characters, plot developments, and natural comedy to add to the boiling pot, to create a flawlessly blended dish that is impossible to consume in a single sitting, thanks to the amount of substance that comes from something that can mix its immature and mature content with unrivaled skill. It also constructs its narrative in such a cool, unique way by connecting everything. Every character, every fight, every small line of dialogue, every little event, everything is relevant to the story. This approach results in you becoming genuinely attached to the characters despite the generally fast pace of the story, which will most likely become a negative because the anime has time restrictions, but I trust that Ufotable can make it work out somehow. The director Takahiro does raise quite a few flags though. This is his first time heading a project besides the 6 Kira no Kyokai film, which I have not heard very good things about, but a TV series is completely different from a film, so perhaps having more screen time will allow his abilities to shine. Or not, it's hit or miss. Just let me have my hope, okay? But regardless, I'm extremely enthusiastic because of my bias as a hardcore Fate fan, and Fate may not be utterly perfect, but it flawlessly pulls all of its unique threads together to create something absolutely stellar, and it'd be impossible for me to not be completely captivated by its unmatched demand for my adoration. Hey guys, Glen here, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, and, maybe if you want, comment on what you've been looking forward to from fall, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't talk about. Maybe also go like me on the Facebook, so you can see me posting Yuri 24/7, because that's all I do. Also, if you want to watch most of these anime, you can watch them right on Crunchyroll. There's a 2-week free trial down below in the description. And before you all start yelling at me, I know, it's late. The video's late. College got the best of me, okay? It was my first semester. And one final thing, I decided to not put split Cur shows on this list so I could talk about the newer stuff. So Chaika, Mushishi, and Wixos were excluded. Alright, that's it. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.